Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Today we remember George Wendt, a cherished figure in American television whose gentle presence and unmistakable charm brought comfort and laughter to millions. Born in Chicago in 1948, George rose from the stages of Second City to television stardom, embodying the beloved character of Norm Peterson on the classic sitcom Cheers. With a simple, familiar greeting, "Afternoon, everybody," he became a welcome friend in living rooms across the country. George's journey to success was built on grit and love for the craft. After studying economics, he took an unexpected path into comedy, finding his voice in improv and sketch. Though Cheers made him a household name, George's warmth and humility always shone brighter than the spotlight. His portrayal of Norm earned him 6 Emmy nominations and a permanent place in television history. Off-screen, George faced his own share of challenges. Navigating the pressures of fame while staying grounded wasn't easy, but he never lost sight of what mattered: family, kindness, and making people smile. His nephew, actor Jason Sudeikis, often spoke with admiration of George's encouragement and steady example. Beyond Cheers, George brought joy in every role, from his theater performances to guest appearances on beloved shows. In his later years, he took on new challenges with grace, including a heartfelt turn as Willie Loman on stage. George Wendt passed peacefully in his sleep on May 20th, 2025, at 76. As we reflect on his life, we remember not only a gifted actor, but a man who made us feel like family. His legacy lives on in laughter, in stories shared, and in the enduring warmth of a familiar voice saying, "Norm." With quiet brilliance and unwavering humanity, Robert Benton shaped the landscape of American cinema. Born in the small town of Waxahachie, Texas in 1932, Benton began his creative journey as an artist and magazine art director before finding his true voice as a storyteller. His films, known for their emotional depth and intimate character studies, became enduring reflections of family, resilience, and the human condition. Benton's rise began with the groundbreaking screenplay for Bonnie and Clyde, 1967, co-written with David Newman. This daring film redefined cinematic storytelling and opened the door to a new era in Hollywood. But it was Kramer versus Kramer, 1979, a poignant depiction of a father's fight for custody, that earned Benton 2 Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay, and touched the hearts of millions. His work gave voice to quiet struggles and tender victories, portraying ordinary people with extraordinary grace. Throughout his career, Benton remained an actor's director, guiding performances that earned 8 Oscar nominations and 3 wins. From Places in the Heart to Nobody's Fool, his stories celebrated the strength found in vulnerability. Even as he faced professional challenges and health struggles, he never lost sight of his artistic vision or the compassion that infused his work. Robert Benton passed away peacefully at his home in Manhattan at the age of 92, following a lifetime of creative triumphs. He is survived by his son, John. Though he is no longer with us, his legacy lives on through the films that continue to inspire, comfort, and remind us of the quiet beauty in everyday life. His storytelling was never about spectacle. It was about truth, and in that, he achieved something timeless. Breaking news: Morgan Freeman's unstoppable journey, wisdom, resilience, and the voice of a generation. When you hear that unmistakable voice, warm, resonant, and steeped in quiet authority, chances are you already know who it is. Morgan Freeman, an actor, narrator, humanitarian, and one of the most revered figures in modern cinema. But behind the legacy is a man who fought long and hard to find his place in a world that once told him it wasn't his to claim. Before the fame, the seed of greatness in Memphis. Born on June 1, 1937, in Memphis, Tennessee, Morgan Freeman entered a world riddled with limitations. Raised in a segregated America, he grew up knowing what it meant to be told no, not because of a lack of talent or drive, but because of the color of his skin. Yet Freeman never saw those barriers as permanent. Instead, he viewed them as challenges to overcome, mile markers on a journey he was determined to complete. His path to stardom was far from paved. As a young man, Freeman took on a number of modest jobs, from radar technician in the Air Force to struggling stage actor, building his craft slowly and steadily. He performed in small theaters, television shows, and educational programs, including the beloved PBS children's series, The Electric Company. These early steps laid the foundation for a career that would later tower over the industry. A late bloomer, a lasting impact. Freeman's breakout role didn't arrive until he was in his 50s, an age when many actors are already being nudged into retirement. But when he portrayed the chauffeur Hoke Colburn in Driving Miss Daisy, 1989, Hollywood, and the world, finally took notice. His performance was gentle, commanding, and transformative. It earned him an Academy Award nomination and opened the doors to roles that allowed Freeman to showcase the full range of his emotional and intellectual depth. Then came Glory, 1989, Lean on Me, 1989, and one of the most iconic films of the 1990s, The Shawshank Redemption, 1994. As Ellis Red Redding, Freeman delivered a performance that has echoed across generations, embodying quiet hope and inner strength in the face of life's cruelest circumstances. Through it all, he brought something few others could: a deep, moral clarity that made his characters feel not only believable, but necessary. More than an actor, a voice that speaks for us all. Freeman's voice, described by many as the most comforting in the world, is more than a tool of narration. It's a beacon, whether guiding viewers through the icy journeys of Emperor Penguins in March of the Penguins, exploring the mysteries of the universe in Through the Wormhole, or lending gravitas to the Declaration of Independence in National Treasure, Book of Secrets. Freeman's narration transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. His ability to elevate material, to pull listeners into a deeper understanding of life, science, and spirit, is nothing short of magical. Freeman doesn't just read lines, he breathes meaning into them. That's why so many fans say that if Morgan Freeman were to narrate a grocery list, they'd still listen in awe. Trials of the body, resilience in the face of pain. But Freeman's journey has not been without hardship. In 2008, he survived a devastating car accident in Mississippi that left him with lasting nerve damage in his left hand and chronic pain that he still lives with today. For most people, that would be reason enough to slow down. But not Freeman. Instead, he returned to work with renewed determination. He continued to act, narrate, and travel the world, even as he quietly dealt with the physical burdens behind the scenes. His perseverance in the face of pain has become a testament to his inner strength, showing the world that limitations are merely another challenge to navigate, not a reason to stop. Moments of controversy, a public reckoning. In 2018, Freeman found himself at the center of a controversy when several individuals came forward with allegations of inappropriate behavior. The accusations were met with a wide range of reactions, and Freeman addressed the situation with a public statement. He expressed remorse if any of his words or actions had made others uncomfortable, emphasizing that this was never his intent. Though the moment cast a shadow over his career, Freeman remained focused on his work and moved forward with dignity and resolve. an artist without borders, work that still inspires. Even now, approaching his 90th year, Morgan Freeman shows no signs of stepping away from the screen. His more recent roles, often in socially charged dramas or thoughtful thrillers, continue to reflect his commitment to stories that ask difficult questions. Whether playing a wise judge, a weary detective, or even God himself, Freeman brings gravitas to every role he touches. His work in films like The Bucket List, Invictus, Now You See Me, and Angel Has Fallen serves as a reminder that the power of performance has no age limit. And it's not just about what he brings to the screen, it's what he brings to the audience: insight, empathy, and a sense of shared humanity. Beyond Hollywood, philanthropy, and purpose, Freeman's influence extends far beyond entertainment. As a philanthropist, he has supported numerous causes, including disaster relief efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, educational initiatives through his Tallahatchie River Foundation, and conservation through his work to preserve honeybee populations on his Mississippi ranch. He's a man who has lived his values, not just through dialogue and roles, but through action. His legacy is one not only of artistic brilliance, but of social responsibility and heartfelt generosity. Freeman believes in lifting others as he climbs, a philosophy evident in both his words and his deeds. A living legend, what comes next? As we reflect on Morgan Freeman's unparalleled career and unwavering dedication, we are left with one lingering question: what more might he have to give? At an age when many fade from public view, Freeman continues to shape the world, not with volume, but with depth. He has become a living monument to grace, endurance, and storytelling at its finest. Will he direct again? Will he find another breakout role in his 90s? Will we one day hear his voice guiding us through another chapter of human understanding? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: his journey is not over. It is simply evolving, as all great stories do. Now it's your turn. What is your favorite Morgan Freeman performance? Is it the hope-filled voiceover in The Shawshank Redemption, the soulful guidance in Bruce Almighty, or his real-life passion for science and nature? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation as we celebrate the man, the myth, the voice, Morgan Freeman. In a world often starved for sincerity and wisdom, Morgan Freeman remains a beacon. Not just an actor, not just a narrator, but a storyteller of the highest order. And as long as stories need to be told, we can only hope he'll be there to tell them. With heartfelt appreciation, we remember Ruth Buzzi, a trailblazing comedian and cherished entertainer whose laughter brightened generations of American homes. Born in 1936 and raised in Connecticut, Ruth discovered her gift for comedy early on. She followed her dreams to the Pasadena Playhouse, where she trained alongside future legends like Dustin Hoffman and Gene Hackman, beginning a lifelong journey in performance. Ruth became a beloved household name through her unforgettable portrayal of Gladys Ormsby on the groundbreaking variety show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Clad in brown, with a signature hairnet and sharp wit, Gladys became a symbol of joyful resistance and clever humor. In an era when few women were recognized in comedy, Ruth's presence was bold and brilliant. Her performance earned her a Golden Globe and multiple Emmy nominations, as well as a lasting place in the hearts of viewers across the country. Her career extended far beyond one show. She brought warmth and imagination to children as Ruthie on Sesame Street, graced the Broadway stage in Sweet Charity, and created unforgettable characters across film and television. Each role reflected her deep commitment to making others laugh, even as she faced challenges. Later in life, Ruth navigated a long and difficult journey with a neurodegenerative condition. Despite these struggles, those closest to her shared that she kept her radiant spirit and humor alive, bringing smiles even in quieter moments. Ruth Buzzi's legacy lives on through the joy she gave us. Her work uplifted audiences with every gesture, every line, every laugh. She showed us the strength of character, the power of perseverance, and the enduring beauty of making people smile. Joan Baker, born on February 12, 1936, in Groesbeck, Texas, was a powerhouse of American film and television, celebrated for his gritty charm and commanding presence. His journey to stardom was paved not with glamour, but with the unwavering determination of a Southern son who served his country in the Army and studied the craft of acting at the prestigious Actors Studio in New York. His breakout role came in 1973 with Walking Tall, where Baker portrayed Sheriff Buford Pusser, a real-life lawman who stood defiantly against corruption. The role captured the national spirit and catapulted Baker into the spotlight, praised for his authenticity and quiet intensity. Over nearly 5 decades, he brought unforgettable depth to a diverse range of characters: lawmen, criminals, politicians, and even a star ball player in The Natural. Baker became a familiar face to international audiences through his roles in 3 James Bond films, first as a villain in The Living Daylights, and later as CIA agent Jack Wade in GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies. He also earned acclaim for roles in Charlie Varick, Cape Fear, and Fletch, displaying a remarkable versatility that defied typecasting. Off-screen, Baker was known for his kindness, intellectual curiosity, and love for nature and animals. Though he led a private life and had no children, those who knew him spoke of his warmth, humor, and generosity. Joan Baker passed away on May 7, 2025, at the age of 89. His spirit lives on in the stories he told, the characters he shaped, and the hearts of those he inspired. In a world of fleeting fame, he stood tall, quiet, steadfast, unforgettable. Johnny Rodriguez, born in Sabinal, Texas, was a trailblazer who brought his rich heritage and heartfelt voice to the forefront of country music. As the first Mexican-American to become a country music star, he opened doors for future generations and reshaped the sound of Nashville with his blend of honky-tonk soul and Tex-Mex spirit. His journey began humbly, discovered while singing at a Texas tourist attraction. That chance encounter led him to Nashville, where he signed with Mercury Records and quickly rose to fame. His debut single, Pass Me By, If You're Only Passing Through, captivated listeners, and within a year, he topped the country charts with You Always Come Back to Hurting Me and the timeless Ridin' My Thumb to Mexico. Rodriguez's voice carried both strength and vulnerability, and his music often wove English and Spanish lyrics into poignant narratives. Songs like That's the Way Love Goes and Love Put a Song in My Heart revealed a sensitivity that set him apart. His artistry earned him 6 #1 hits and induction into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. But Johnny's story wasn't without trials. He faced personal and legal hardships, and he fought through battles with addiction. Through it all, he remained a resilient figure, continuing to perform, record, and inspire. His ability to connect across cultures made him a cherished voice in country music. Johnny Rodriguez passed away peacefully on May 9, 2025, at the age of 73, surrounded by loved ones. He is survived by his daughter, Aubrey, who shared the love and legacy he leaves behind. In every heartfelt lyric and every stage he graced, Johnny's spirit endures, a testament to courage, culture, and the power of song. Michelle Tractenberg, a beloved actress whose presence lit up screens from childhood through adulthood, left an indelible mark on audiences with her charisma, depth, and emotional vulnerability. Born in 1985, she rose to fame early with her role in Nickelodeon's Harriet the Spy, and soon became a household name as Dawn Summers on the iconic series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Later, she captivated a new generation as Georgina Sparks on Gossip Girl, delivering a performance as mischievous as it was unforgettable. Michelle's career was defined by versatility. From poignant drama to edgy comedy, she brought sincerity and complexity to every character she embodied. Her roles in Eurotrip, Ice Princess, and 6 Feet Under showcased a performer unafraid to evolve, one whose talent resonated deeply across genres and generations. Behind the scenes, Michelle faced health challenges with remarkable resilience. In her final years, she lived more privately, stepping back from the spotlight while managing complications related to diabetes. On February 26, 2025, she passed away at the age of 39. Her cause of passing was confirmed as complications of diabetes mellitus. Friends and colleagues remembered her as vibrant, empathetic, and fiercely loyal. "She was electricity," wrote Blake Lively. Sarah Michelle Gellar honored their bond with heartfelt words, while Rosie O'Donnell expressed the sorrow of losing someone she deeply admired. Though gone too soon, Michelle Trachtenberg's spirit lives on through the characters she brought to life and the many hearts she touched. Her story is one of courage, talent, and the enduring power of human connection. L.J. Smith, the beloved author behind the Vampire Diaries novels, enchanted generations of readers with her gripping tales of love, mystery, and the supernatural. Born Lisa Jane Smith on September 4, 1958, she grew up in Southern California, where her fascination with magic and fantasy began to take root among the orange groves of Villa Park. She began writing young and never stopped, eventually earning her degree in experimental psychology before teaching and then turning to writing full-time. Her breakthrough came in 1991 with the publication of The Vampire Diaries, a series that introduced millions to Elena Gilbert and the enigmatic Salvatore brothers. These novels not only captivated readers but inspired the long-running hit CW television series, cementing Smith's legacy in pop culture. Her signature style, blending emotional intensity with fantasy, helped define the young adult paranormal genre. Behind the success, Smith faced significant challenges. Unaware her early work was a work for hire, she was later replaced on her own series, a heartbreak that deeply affected her. Yet with remarkable resilience, she reclaimed her voice through fan fiction, continuing to nurture the characters she had lovingly created. In her final years, Smith endured the effects of a rare autoimmune disease. Despite her illness, she remained dedicated to her craft, completing several manuscripts while moving in and out of hospitals. She passed away on March 8, 2025, at the age of 66. Smith is remembered not only for her imaginative storytelling, but for her quiet strength and determination. Her stories gave readers a world to escape to, and in doing so, she created a legacy that will live on in the hearts of fans who found magic in her words. Leslie Charlesson, a cherished presence in daytime television, touched the lives of millions with her portrayal of Monica Quartermaine on General Hospital. For nearly 5 decades, she was the elegant, enduring heart of the Quartermaine family, bringing to life one of soap opera's most iconic characters with warmth, wit, and remarkable resilience. Born in Kansas City, Charlesson began her acting career in the early 1960s and quickly became a familiar face in both daytime and primetime television. From guest starring on classics like Happy Days and Marcus Welby, MD, to playing pivotal roles in beloved soap operas, she captured audiences with her depth and charm. But it was her debut in 1977 on General Hospital that sealed her legacy, with over 2,000 episodes chronicling Monica's triumphs and heartbreaks. Leslie's journey wasn't without challenges. In her later years, she experienced several falls, including one that led to her hospitalization just days before her passing. On January 12, 2025, she died at age 79, due to complications from blunt head trauma, which the medical examiner ruled as accidental. Despite health setbacks, Leslie remained a spirited presence on set, beloved by cast and crew alike. She earned 4 Daytime Emmy nominations and left an indelible mark through Monica's strength, grace, and emotional complexity. Her final appearance aired in December 2023, but her character remains fondly remembered. Beyond the screen, Leslie was a devoted animal lover, a loyal friend, and a passionate fan of Elvis Presley and the Eagles. She embraced life with laughter and love, always grateful for the fans who followed her every storyline. Leslie Charlesson will be remembered not only for her extraordinary career, but for the kindness and joy she brought to those around her. Dame Joan Plowright, an icon of British stage and screen, passed away peacefully on January 16, 2025, at the age of 95. Her remarkable life was a testament to artistic dedication, emotional depth, and unwavering grace. Though known to many as Lady Olivier, the widow of Laurence Olivier, Joan Plowright forged a powerful legacy in her own right. Born in Brigg, Lincolnshire in 1929, Plowright began her career with a passion for storytelling and a commitment to the craft of acting. Her early years were shaped by a rich theatre education at the Old Vic Theatre School, leading to an illustrious career on London stages. She captivated audiences with her performances in classics such as The Chairs, St. Joan, and The Entertainer, the latter of which also marked the beginning of her relationship with Olivier. Plowright was a master of both stage and screen. She earned a Tony Award for A Taste of Honey and an Academy Award nomination for her luminous role in Enchanted April. Audiences also cherished her in roles spanning from Avalon and Tea with Mussolini to the charming Dennis the Menace. Her performances were known for their authenticity, depth, and delightful wit. Her life was not without trials. In her later years, Plowright faced the loss of her sight due to macular degeneration, which eventually led to her retirement in 2014. Despite this challenge, she remained spirited, gracious, and devoted to her family and legacy. Dame Joan Plowright's passing marks the close of a remarkable chapter in theatrical history. She is survived by her children and grandchildren, who, like the countless artists she inspired, will carry forward her enduring light. Her laughter, her strength, and her extraordinary talent will remain etched in the hearts of those who love the theater and the stories it tells. Denise Alexander, a beloved figure in the world of daytime television, touched the hearts of millions over a career that spanned more than 6 decades. Best known for her enduring role as Dr. Leslie Weber on General Hospital, Alexander was more than just a familiar face. She was a comforting presence, a pioneer, and a storyteller who brought warmth and depth to every scene. Born in New York in 1939, Denise began her journey in entertainment at just 6 years old, lending her voice to over 2,500 radio broadcasts. Her transition to the screen included early roles on The Twilight Zone and Father Knows Best, but it was in the world of soap operas where she truly shined. As Susan Martin on Days of Our Lives, and later as Dr. Leslie Weber, Denise captivated audiences with her emotional honesty and strength. She portrayed one of the first female doctors on daytime TV, a groundbreaking role that inspired generations. Her portrayal of Leslie, a woman of compassion, resilience, and maternal devotion, left an indelible mark on fans and colleagues alike. Her journey wasn't without challenges. In 1984, after more than a decade on General Hospital, her character was written out, sparking public outcry. But in classic soap fashion, Leslie returned years later, and so did Denise. Always gracious, always luminous. Denise passed away peacefully on March 5, 2025, at the age of 85, of natural causes. She leaves behind a legacy of groundbreaking work, cherished memories, and a deep bond with those who followed her storylines with unwavering loyalty. Her spirit will live on in Port Charles and in the hearts of all who knew and loved her. The film begins in black and white, a girl in her teens, standing beneath the glow of studio lights. It's post-war America, and Joan OBrien's voice is carrying across living rooms on The Bob Crosby Show. She's young, radiant, with a voice as clear as a bell, and Hollywood is watching. By 1959, she's lighting up the silver screen in Operation Petticoat, trading lines with Cary Grant and Tony Curtis. A year later, she's alongside John Wayne in The Alamo. Then comes It Happened at the World's Fair, where she steps into a nurse's uniform and into the heart of Elvis Presley's character. From romantic comedy to war drama to westerns, Joan played them all, and she did it with a kind of grace that quietly stole every scene. But behind the spotlight, life didn't follow a script. Personal challenges in the mid-60s led her to step back from acting. Her career slowed, but her performances never faded from the memories of those who saw her. In every close-up, she offered sincerity. In every smile, warmth. On May 15, 2025, Joan OBrien's daughter confirmed her passing at age 89. No cause, no headlines, just a final curtain, closed with dignity. Yet if you close your eyes, you can still see her, laughing with Cary Grant, dancing with Elvis, crooning on black and white television. Her voice, her image, her light, still playing, scene by scene, in the quiet cinema of our hearts. Some stars are born to shine, others, like Joan, were born to stay. Kenneth Cope. He made us laugh. He made us think. And in one unforgettable role, he made us believe in ghosts. Kenneth Cope, who passed peacefully at 93 with family by his side, leaves behind a legacy of wit, warmth, and unforgettable screen magic. For many, he will forever be Marty Hopkirk, the ghost detective in Randall and Hopkirk, deceased, whose spectral misadventures defined 1960s British television. With his cream-colored suit and deadpan charm, Cope brought heart to the otherworldly, making the impossible feel plausible and the absurd oddly comforting. But his story began long before the afterlife. A proud son of Southport, Kenneth cut his teeth on stage with the Bristol Old Vic, and by the 1950s, he was gracing screens with Shakespearean cadence and Liverpool grit. By the 60s, he was a household name, first as the cheeky crook Jed Stone on Coronation Street, then a satirical firebrand on That Was the Week That Was, challenging norms with laughter. He thrived in a golden age of British television, appearing in Z-Cars, The Avengers, and Carry On classics. Whether as a charming rogue or a comic sidekick, Cope understood one truth: characters are never about perfection, they're about presence. His later years brought fewer roles but never less impact. When he returned to Coronation Street decades later, it wasn't just a cameo, it was a homecoming, a reminder that some spirits never truly leave. In his final scene, surrounded by love, Kenneth Cope faded from view as gracefully as he once walked through walls on screen. But if you listen closely, you might still hear that ghostly chuckle echoing down the corridors of television history. And if you smile, you'll know he's still here. Biff Whiff, born Gary Crotty in Chicago on October 24, 1948, was more than a character actor. He was a cherished presence in American entertainment for nearly 4 decades. His unmistakable warmth and distinct comedic flair graced countless screens, from sitcoms like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to heartfelt sketches on I Think You Should Leave. For many, his name may have flown under the radar, but his performances always lingered long after the credits rolled. Biff's journey wasn't always easy. He navigated the unpredictable terrain of Hollywood with quiet perseverance, carving out a place for himself through resilience and authenticity. His career took off later than most, and he faced personal health struggles, including a prolonged and courageous battle with cancer. Despite these trials, Biff continued to work, gifting us unforgettable roles like the unforgettable Detective Crashmore and the tender-hearted Rick in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won Best Picture at the Oscars. What made Biff extraordinary was not just his talent, but his spirit. On set, he was known for lifting others with his generous nature. Off set, he faced hardship with the same humility and grace he brought to his roles. He didn't need the spotlight, he simply made everything he touched shine a little brighter. Biff Whiff passed peacefully, surrounded by the love of family and friends. His legacy is one of laughter, kindness, and quiet strength. For those who knew him or simply knew his work, Biff's memory remains, an enduring light in the hearts of those he entertained, inspired, and gently moved. Breaking news. Peter Dinklage, redefining greatness in Hollywood, one barrier at a time. How has he changed the game? Peter Dinklage is not your typical Hollywood leading man, and that is exactly what makes his story so extraordinary. With his unforgettable performances, fierce commitment to authentic storytelling, and a voice that refuses to be silenced by societal expectations, Dinklage has not only earned a place among cinema's finest, he has rewritten the rules entirely. Born on June 11, 1969 in Morristown, New Jersey, Peter Dinklage entered the world with a rare condition known as achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism. From a young age, he experienced the sting of being treated differently. He has spoken openly about the pain and isolation he felt growing up, especially in a society that rarely saw someone like him as more than a punchline or a curiosity. But where others saw limitation, Dinklage began building something else entirely: resilience, self-awareness, and a desire to tell stories that mattered. How does someone go from being overlooked to commanding global stages? What made Peter Dinklage say no to so many roles early in his career, when the spotlight seemed so far out of reach? After graduating from Benton College, Dinklage moved to New York, where he faced years of rejection. Not because he lacked talent, but because the industry wanted to cast him as an elf, a creature, a sidekick. He refused. For nearly a decade, he struggled financially, living with friends and performing in small theater productions, all while maintaining an unwavering sense of artistic integrity. His refusal to play demeaning roles was not just a personal choice, it was a revolutionary act. His breakthrough came in 2003 with The Station Agent, a poignant indie film where he played a lonely man who inherits a train depot in rural New Jersey. The role, deeply human and refreshingly free of cliché, earned him critical acclaim and opened doors that had long been shut. But it was in 2011 that the world would truly come to know Peter Dinklage. Game of Thrones introduced audiences to Tyrion Lannister, a character both cunning and compassionate, broken and brilliant. Dinklage's portrayal of the outcast nobleman became a cultural phenomenon. He infused Tyrion with wit, depth, and dignity, challenging how fantasy characters and people with dwarfism had long been portrayed. Through Tyrion, Peter gave voice to countless others who had never before seen themselves reflected with such complexity and truth. Over 8 seasons, Dinklage received 4 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe. But accolades tell only part of the story. What truly resonated with audiences was the emotional authenticity he brought to the role. Tyrion Lannister was no caricature. He was a mirror, reflecting our own struggles with family, power, love, and shame. But the journey was not without its share of physical and emotional challenges. Achondroplasia often brings with it chronic pain, joint problems, and fatigue. Though Dinklage does not speak often of his health, he lives with the daily toll that his condition brings. Even so, he never let it define him or slow his artistic momentum. On screen, he remained dynamic. Off-screen, he quietly advocated for the dignity of people living with differences. In 2021, he took on another boundary-breaking role in Cyrano, a reimagining of the classic tale of unspoken love. In this version, his stature, not a long nose, became the perceived flaw. But once again, Dinklage turned perceived limitation into powerful art. His performance was lauded as raw, romantic, and refreshingly modern. Still, not all attention has been supportive. In 2022, Dinklage made headlines when he criticized Disney for its live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He called out what he saw as hypocrisy, modernizing the princess while still relying on backward representations of dwarfs. His comments sparked fierce debate. Some praised him for speaking truth to power, while others within the dwarfism community feared such critiques could reduce job opportunities for actors. Regardless of public response, the moment proved one thing: Dinklage is not afraid to disrupt comfortable narratives. He is not interested in playing along with stereotypes, even when it would be easier to remain silent. He challenges Hollywood not only with his presence, but with his perspective. Today, Peter Dinklage remains a force in entertainment. He continues to take on roles that push boundaries, selecting scripts that explore power, vulnerability, and identity. And more than that, he inspires a new generation of actors who are told they are too different to lead. Through his example, they now see that there is strength in difference and beauty in persistence. His story is not just about one actor overcoming the odds. It is about confronting a system built on exclusion and demanding space not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. Peter Dinklage has changed the conversation, and he has done so without compromise, without apology, and without losing sight of the craft that started it all. So what does greatness really look like? Maybe it looks like a man who refused to accept the roles others wrote for him. A man who turned pain into purpose. A man whose voice, both literal and figurative, will echo for generations. Which Peter Dinklage role moved you the most? And what barriers in your own life have you turned into bridges? Join the conversation below. Let us honor not just the actor, but the advocate, the artist, and the unstoppable force that is Peter Dinklage.